You're listening to littlepodcast.com.
Player unknown.
Stop! Like, I don't know how much more epic you can get to a giant sword being stabbed through the entire planet.
He's clenching the fuck out of it with his ass cheeks.
What are we thinking about that, huh? Huh?
That's frightening.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 359. I'm your host, as always, John Dangereux, joined by my co-hosts.
Matt Haig.
And TJ May.
Welcome back to the podcast that happens every week at the same
weekly.
time without fail.
Hey,
at a completely
I will
reliable schedule.
mention that the episodes have come out, I believe, in a somewhat reliable schedule. Let me look at the...
That's
Would
all
you
we can hope
shut
for.
up? Sorry, the cat is just yelling next to me. What?
Meow.
Okay, she wants me to pet her, and I'm
Pet that
busy.
cat.
So we had an episode on the 3rd, an episode on the 10th, and an episode on the 22nd. So there was a 12-day gap. Not 2 full weeks. And then now we're recording 1 week after that. So, you know, I went on a work trip. So I was in Kansas City for a week when we normally record. So
Yeah, John has a job.
it is my fault.
big
And,
whoop.
but although I did give my blessing for you guys to record an episode without me, and you chose not to, so
I was feeling really lazy.
somewhat on you guys.
I wanted to, but then I thought that anything I did would be suck.
Wow. Well, I disagree with that, but that's just one man's opinion.
You should just do like a one mic show about
Me?
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
lore.
TJ.
Fuck.
TJ, you get locked up.
I
Someone
do.
would hear that recording and they'd be like, this guy clearly needs to be taken to an institution. He knows too much about this fake thing.
Yeah, and Kingdom Hearts 3 is garbage.
I've heard that the lore in it is complicated.
Kingdom Hearts, more like Kingdom Farts.
Especially since I
3.
know that they're doing a
DLC?
a bunch of DLC, which is probably going to add more nonsense to the old storyline.
No, even Kingdom Hearts 3 as a game, like just the gameplay, I really hated.
Really?
It was short, the worlds kind of suck,
Yeah.
and even if we were not talking about the overarching background Kingdom Hearts lore, that's the complicated shit, every Disney World felt like, oh, let's take the exact Disney movie, change almost none of it, but water down all the good parts.
Yeah.
The Pixar worlds were okay.
Yeah.
Because they made unique stories for each of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they going to start bringing in like Star Wars and Marvel characters?
Yeah.
No,
Why
They're
not?
not.
That would be so cool.
You know what's really interesting? Just sorry, we had Twitch.
That's fine.
We're on Twitch, and Summer Games Unquick is going now, and I really want to go at some point some year because it's in Minnesota. It's in
Yeah, it's-
Minneapolis, so it's not far. You could drive there.
Let's do it right now.
Um,
Let's get there.
It's too late because it's basically over tonight. So
That's
by
fine.
the
It's
time
only
we got
like
there,
a
there would be nothing
5-hour
left.
drive, I think. 4
well,
hours.
plus I'm pretty sure you need to have tickets. So, but sorry, I was just noticing we were talking about Kizaron, who's a Pokemon runner. He's
Yep.
probably one of my favorites because he doesn't take
the
it
Animorph
seriously.
speed run.
Yeah, he's not like a speed runner, I'd say. He does do speed running, but he's not like the number one, you know? He's, I think, in the top 10 probably, but, you know. But he's very entertaining. But I noticed that, I guess he's sponsored by some Noble, which they call themselves a esports and live content organization. So I just think it's interesting. I feel like we're getting to a point now where speedrunners are getting sponsors like
Yeah.
esports, which would make sense. Because
Yeah.
Matt, turn Hearthstone off, you jackass.
Yeah, I saw that too. But he only joined that team, I think, just last year too, or in the past year.
Yeah, you gotta put yourself as invisible before you do that, or defriend me. But no, yeah. So I mean, that's great. Good for him because it costs a lot of money for them to go to these events. You know, they I'm assuming he doesn't work a regular job
Okay,
because he streams a lot.
I was part of. He had asked for input on whether he should, dump his job and do streaming full time, and that is what he does now.
Okay.
So every month, to kind of just bridge that gap, he does a sellout week to try and encourage more donations, which
Got it.
helps. He's able to survive.
It is difficult though. I mean, it isn't like super easy to, unless you're like at the. It's like anything. Like if you're at the very top end, if you're Ninja, you're making like something like $100,000 a day, or some nonsense, which is just insane. But I mean, I don't get it. Like we've talked about this a little bit on Twitch, but like some of these top streamers, I just don't get. Like the content is not good because they're playing the same game as everyone else over and over again.
Yeah.
I just like the weird stuff.
Some people like just have a certain personality that attracts people. I do not.
Yeah. Whatever that is, we don't have it. Because, no. But like, I don't know. Wait, can you even look at like is it browse? Is to look at the top games. Oh, League of Legends going crazy right now. Ugh.
Super Mario World.
That's SGDQ.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. 150,000 viewers. Yeah. Trackmania Stadium, for some reason, has 70,000 viewers, which is blowing my mind. Trackmania Stadium Cup is happening right now, so there must be some sort of esports Trackmania event. But it's French, because only French people play that game. But it's just weird, because I feel like Twitch is a weird space that, like, with Fortnite, you have, like, 3 streamers with, like, 8,000 viewers, and then, like, you go down and everyone's got, like, 200.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either you have 1 billion or you have barely enough to make money off of. There's no, like, mid-tier. What I'm saying is that
the time investment is the same, so when you're trying to
Yeah.
decide to go full-time, it's like, okay, I can put I can't afford to, like, work my job and put, like, 40 hours a week into streaming.
Yeah.
But am I going to be able to eat? Who knows?
Yeah, and it sucks for people like he's around because I mean he's kind of a niche streamer. He streams Pokemon games. He streams speedrunning and glitching and randomizer, like just Pokemon centric stuff. So he's never gonna have
and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay.
Forbidden Memories.
Fair enough. But he's streaming a niche type of game. Older games. He's never gonna have the numbers of a Ninja, or even close, because it's just not how it works. But it's just weird. Like,
and once you develop your niche, if you ever try to either ride a wave or go with something else, you'll actually start losing the kind of people that would normally follow or watch.
Sometimes it's happened with me.
Come back
multiple times. Like there've been people I followed, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna do this now, so all right, I'm not gonna watch you play Fortnite, so." I'm done. Like, maybe you'll get a new audience from that, but like, I just don't get it. I don't get watching Fortnite. It's not exciting.
I can't do it.
I just don't get it.
Unless we're talking about Save the World, but they barely update that because that's not their moneymaker.
Yeah, they said that was going to be free to play, and it still isn't. So
it still isn't. Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think here. I mean, like Grand Theft Auto 5, I like to watch streams because that game's wacky. Overwatch
even without mods, it's wacky.
Yeah.
And then you got all the people who are
Dota League, meh. Counter Strike, meh. Like Super Mario Maker's fun. Like old games, fun. Warcraft classic streams are kind of fun just to see what's going on. Although, you know what? Let's talk about this a bit.
Yeah.
So this is something that's come up, I think. So I basically spend every moment of my day on the Reddit Classic WoW subreddit.
Yes.
And this is a thing that comes up all the time. So people are worried and complaining about streamers and worry about being on a quote-unquote streamer server and just being like overrun by dick riders. And I'm going to call them that because that's a term that I forgot is a thing. I don't think... Is that still a term used nowadays?
I've never heard that term before.
I'm not surprised that is a term, but...
So I watched... I've been watching The Boondocks again. This is on Hulu. And there's Thugalicious, who moves next door to the family, and I think it's Thugalicious, something like that. But Riley, who's the young kid who's into the hip hop and whatnot, as opposed to his brother, who's more into the like Black Power, Malcolm X kind of things. He comes over and he wants to hang out with him, but he doesn't want to be seen as a dick rider or riding his dick, basically, which is like what I think is like followers or hangers on. So that's what I feel like a lot of streamers culture is in online games, because you'll talk about like people being in a server and then they have like, because it's a live server and it's basically impossible to hide what server you're on in World of Warcraft. You're going to have like hundreds of people crowding around this person, like, because they're going to be on camera basically. So those are dick riders, as I'm calling them. They're riding the dicks.
So like they're worried about people just like crowding around a streamer and just being
and ruining world
in the way.
So like the idea is that like, oh hey, we're out in Terran Mills, like in between South Shore and Terran Mill, doing our world PvP that is like the classic world PvP location.
Yeah.
And oh hey, the streamer came up and like 50, 60 people just showed up on one side and now it's over. Like
the only way to make that more interesting, if you've got two nearly equivalent streamers on opposite factions.
Yeah, streamer wars. But I don't know. I don't really see that as a big problem, because if they do, then you move away from Terran Mill and you go like grind somewhere else. Like,
it's really interesting though, because it is completely different than the way it was. That did not exist in any way back in the original WoW. So, although I feel like this is a problem that could still happen on retail, but I don't see people on BFA like has streamers, with thousands of viewers. Like, I don't know. But it's you see it with some of these streamers who are playing classic beta and like having groups basically, like, and just being gifted all of the BOE like best in slot items, and it's like, this is kind of lame.
Yeah, what I would be worried about is if I was a streamer, like just people like coming to snipe me and preventing me from getting anything done.
Yes, and that is what the people said the remedy for this is that, that's possible, but also, like, you will be able to heavily stream snipe. And Blizzard specifically said that they will absolutely not punish anyone for stream sniping. Because what can you do? It's a live game. If you're going to broadcast where you are live on a server, a multiplayer game, like, that's it. It's not a competitive game. Like if you're in a Battle of Warsong Gulch or whatnot, that's maybe different. They could argue about that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you're choosing to like the whole thing about people complaining about stream snipers, because this has happened in Fortnite. People have gotten banned for doing it and whatnot. And I say, sorry, you're streaming the game. Like, you're like, I'm mad that because I broadcast the multiplayer game I am and showing someone all of the moves that I'm making, there's a reason why when they do the tournaments for cash, they're on a huge delay. Like, so that you can't do that. And so, or they're, on their own private servers, so this isn't going to be happening. So, like, I mean, I guess you're right. So there is a solution to this, and that is just, getting a group together and fucking them up, or killing the quest mobs that they're going for, or doing something.
Yeah. I mean, live poker on Twitch is the same way, as they put that big delay in because the players could just watch the game they're playing.
So I appreciate Blizzard's soft touch on that, which is probably the best way to do it, because it's got to be impossible to heavily moderate that. It's just like, hey, if you're going to be streaming and you're not making your server privately known or whatnot, which is basically impossible if you're big. I mean, if you're a small-time streamer, nobody would know, but then you wouldn't have a problem, I think.
But how would that work with, like, the layering tech that they're doing? Like, would you even be able to find these people you're looking for?
Yeah, so that's another interesting point. So let's talk a little bit about layering in Classic WoW. So this is the solution they're going to have for the server population, because the way the original WoW was is they're like, hey, we got a server, it holds 5,000 people at a time, here it is, put it in the rack, turn it on, you can sign up, and if too many people log in, then you have to wait
I remember
to log
that.
in. You have
the server's full.
Yes.
Yep.
wait minutes to get in. So rather than doing that, I think there still is a cap on players, but it's much higher because they're going to do layering where they'll have multiple instances of the world running, and then they'll put you into different layers of it, basically, so that you're still seeing about the same amount of people. It's kind of like sharding, which is the way it's done now in servers. So you're constantly seeing people about the, like, what they call is like the perfect amount of other players at a time. Hopefully I'm saying this all right, but the idea is that you're going to still be, it's not going to feel like you're empty in zones, so there will be people like brought up. But I think the way sharding is done is that it isn't just done by zone. Whereas I think that the way that layering is going to be the entire server, basically. And jumping between layers is basically impossible without... Whereas jumping between shards is as easy as zoning in and out of a place, basically, and then seeing if a mob respawns, which is kind of a weird thing now. But the mob respawns are so short now. So with layering, to jump in and out of layers, you need to group up with someone in a different layer, and it'll take you to that group leader's layer. But what they're saying is the layering should be gone after the first month or so. Because the idea is that they are going to balance the servers after a month or so and get like a good feel for the number of people. And they're not going to worry about like overpopulation. Like the idea is that they're going to take the layering away. Like,
so then is that going to be like when you log in, you can select whatever server you want to go on?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But that's what it's going to be now. Like, it's what it'll be when it's at launch too. I think you'll select a server, but
originally it was like your characters were tied to what server they were on.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to be now. So you'll pick a server, but that server will have layers so that like you can fit 10,000 people on there, but it won't feel like you can't kill anything because everything's killed. Like it'll be all layered out. And then after months, when like people tire out of the initial burst of people, because that's what always happens with these, is there'll be a huge push of people right at the start. Mm-hmm. And then once that levels out, they can kind of figure out what they're going to do and remove the layering. That's what they said. People are worried the layering is going to stick around. I'm kind of worried about that too, because it's very different than the way classic WoW is. And I don't know. We'll see. It does also sound like people are thinking that this will benefit private servers as well, because private servers will be able to play the classic WoW content, which should have some updated damage values and things that they've had to fudge. We talked about this on previous podcasts, but the fact that like private servers are basically completely wholly built, like based on like database data that may or may not be accurate and is old, so they may not be like perfect recreations of the original game, which is kind of crazy to think about. Someone on the classic WoW Reddit posted the scene from The Matrix where they're eating that food, and then they're like, "This tastes like steak," and they're like, "Well, in the simulation, what if they don't know what steak actually tastes like?" And so you think it tastes like that, but it's only because you're being told it does, and not because it actually is the way it is. And it's like, oh, mind fuck. Which I thought was really fun.
So
P servers might
not
steal
that
the
I would
data.
ever play like an illegal WoW server, but sometimes if I was, like, I would occasionally be wondering, like, is what's going on in the background really accurate to what should be happening right now, or did I just get fucked by like somebody's guesswork?
Yep, and that's probably happening a bit. But they I mean, to give these people credit that made these, they put a lot of fucking work into these, But I think that I would probably believe Blizzard's take on it better, because I'm sure they have private data that wasn't shared, so they can kind of go from the source. Although I've heard hunters are broken as shit still in classic beta, which is really funny, because when the game originally came out, hunters were the last class introduced, and they were the buggiest. So it's like history is repeating itself, because they have the pet. With the pet AI, Warlocks is a little bit better because the pet AI, they only have like 4 pets, whereas hunters can have like any animal basically you can train and tame in the world. And they all have like slightly different abilities. Yeah, so it's harder to do that. But I don't know what I'm going to play. I think I definitely want to play Classic WoW over private servers, just because I feel like Blizzard deserves my money for actually putting resources and effort towards making this. But I hope it is better than private servers. If it's a worse experience than private servers, it will be sad. Because private servers are super easy to use right now.
Yeah.
So, classic. But I have faith. They're going to have a lot. They're going to have ease of what is it? Not ease of life. Quality of life improvements. Because there's stuff. Because it's on the Legion client, or actually, I think it might be running on the BFA client now. So there will be stuff like the BattleNet friends list stuff's going to be built in.
Nice.
Just because it is. They can't they can't really pull it out. And to me, like, quality of life stuff like that is totally fine. Like, I think they're going to have shift click auto looting, AoE looting in the game, which is in the game now but wasn't in the game originally. You'd have to loot each corpse individually. I believe private servers have AoE looting in them.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? But there's a lot of stuff that you can accomplish via add-ons that I think they're going to have in the game, and I feel like that's fine. I guess if you're, I feel like if as long as it's not like quest tracking related or node tracking for like mining herbalism related, they can put it in. Like, why not? Because if I'm going to just download a mod anyway, like, one big thing is they're going to have mail, so you can mail multiple items.
Okay, nice.
Because I'd forgotten in Classic that you can't mail multiple items without an add-on, which accomplishes the exact same task. So they're just like, we're just going to leave it in, because it's dumb that, why, nobody wants that. The Classic experience of, let me download the mail add-on so that I can do this, versus it's already built into the game. That's an experience I don't think anyone's like sad to not have recreated, I guess. And if you want it, go on a private server. But to me, yeah. Anyway, so
have they done like character model updates and stuff over time?
So yes, they have completely different character models now, and I believe the old character models are in now. But they updated the character models in Lich King, and I think they updated just hairstyles and things, and then I think it was in Legion they updated the character models pretty heavily. I just want to look this up. Because if it's based on the BFA and Legion architecture, they're going to have the ability to have the new. And I think people said that are saying, why not just make them toggleable?
Yeah. That would make sense. Or even just like the low poly models, but with higher res textures would be cool.
No, I think that is happening. I think
there's something about that low poly feel that's just kind of charming and old fashioned.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty. Oh my god, my life. I had to shut the door because my wife's coming home and I don't want her to interrupt. But yeah, the graphics are going to be different. It'll be, people were like, hey, can I get my old beater PC out and run this? And people were like, well, look at the BFA box for the system requirements, because that's what you're going to need, because it's going to run on the new version. But although what I've heard is that it actually runs smoother than private servers. Because I guess private servers are jankified enough, I think, that there's some issues, I guess.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that private servers don't crash all the time.
Hey, man, they got their shit together. But you never played on one, so
no,
you wouldn't know.
Well, I'm friends with a lot of Russian dudes, and they all play the private servers for some reason. So I just talk to them.
So I think another thing that is interesting that people mentioned that doesn't exist now is that the one thing in Classic that is the same as it is in BFA is that skeletons don't stick around very long. Whereas in Classic, Vanilla WoW and private servers, skeletons stick around forever. Corpses stick around forever, basically. Like, so I thought someone brought this up, but that totally is something they need to fix. They need to have the skeletons and corpses lasting longer, because the entire point of that was, you get into an area and zone in and you see a bunch of fucking skeletons and you're like,
oh
fuck,
shit, I have to get out.
There is some PvP happening here. I need
and
to
then
get
you
the
realize
fuck
that they've killed the bat handler and you can't get out.
Yeah, and you can't get back. Dude, Terran Mill, man. So many war stories from there. That is such a great area because it's where an Alliance and Horde zone just both pour into each other. So, yeah, that's a classic.
And the quests, have you attacking the other person's. Like, you have to attack Alliance areas if you're a Horde in that.
Yeah. I mean, it does sound like right now the quality of life stuff right now is going to be auto-looting. Although shift right-click for auto-looting was in 1.9. So, and they're doing 1.12. So, anything in 1.12... will be in this, which does bring us up to another thing that sucks, is that classic Alterac Valley will be not in the game, which kind of I'm sad about, but it's fine.
How is that different?
Remember? Yeah, I could get into a huge discussion about Alterac Valley,
because I played a lot of Warsong Gulch. I didn't play the other ones too much.
So Alterac Valley is the 40 versus 40 man raid PvP. It takes place in a huge snowy field, and the only way to win the PvP is to kill the opposing side's commander, who is an NPC. And they have lots of guys around them. So you would destroy towers that would limit the guards around the boss at the end, but you still have to push your way all the way across the map to the other side. It was an epic war.
Okay.
That included multiple side objectives. Like, there were mines that you could take and gather materials that would, and this is very much Dota-esque. You gather enough materials on these mines, and you could upgrade the NPCs that are roaming around on your faction side to have better armor and better weapons. And so, you could be either fighting the front lines, or you could be going in the mines and fighting just, mobs to get drops to go upgrade your side's towers, basically. So it's this huge, massive. It's a really cool zone. It was my favorite battleground by far because it was just insane. But there were a couple problems that existed. One being that was not uncommon for Alterac Valley games to last over 20 hours. Because the only way to finish a game was to kill the opposing faction's boss. And so that left to a lot of people AFKing, a lot of people, playing. I remember distinctly playing in Alterac Valley, going to sleep, waking up, logging in, queuing up, getting back into the exact same battleground that was there. It was actually kind of cool when you think about it.
Yeah, because then it's like a multi-day siege.
Yes, people were actually petitioning them, because you get epic stalemates. People were actually petitioning, saying, okay, we understand this is the 1.12 version, which is a slightly nerfed version of the Alterac Valley, where there's less the NPCs and they're a little bit less powerful. But it isn't the Burning Crusade version, which fixed it by adding a reinforcement cap. So you could only have 500 respawns per side, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So there would be a hard cap on the end of the game. Which is fine, but then the game mode basically now is there is zero PvP in Alterac Valley. It is just straight run past the other team in the middle and then try and burn down the other side faster than the other side. So it isn't as fun as it used to be. I just remember epic, 5-hour-long Alterac Valley games. But it was terrible for PvP because in the old system you earned honor via kills. And you had diminishing returns on kills. So if you're in the same zone fighting the same people, you're going to not be getting honor fast enough to rank up. But it was just fun. It was a really unique experience. It was just something completely different.
So that the version that's going to be in Classic is that second one where the NPCs are just weaker?
Yes, okay. Not the reinforcements though. So it'll be the pre-Burning Crusade version. So it will run a little bit faster.
But that's just kind of it helps you burn through the castles or the keeps or whatever faster.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it was tough before. Like, you needed, like, not the full 40, but, like, 10 to 15 people. And that's if nobody from the other side is attacking. I just hope that when in Classic WoW, when it's Alterac Valley weekend, and I want to join in because you get bonus rep on the weekend, that it isn't the let's just run past each other in the middle and not fight each other. Because the most fun was just the strategizing and people yelling in horde chat, being like, "We need people to go to the graveyard and recap," like, and then like, whereas now it's just literally you don't talk to the other faction, or you don't talk to anyone else. You just run and burn through all the NPCs as quickly as you can, which is not a battleground in my mind.
No,
it's just like a PvE race. So
I can't wait until they implement the Classic WoW Battle Royale.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. I mean, they're owned by Activision, so the fact that there isn't a WoW Battle Royale mode right now is surprising.
It could be like a team Battle Royale. You have like your 5-man, so that way like, healers aren't.
Holy shit! You just came up with that, and you can queue up.
Yeah.
And sign yourself up as tank, DPS, or healer.
Yeah.
In each group, well, you not necessarily would need a tank, but you would because tanking is useless in Battlegrounds. So you would just need
25-man teams. Yeah.
Yep, 25-man teams with I think was it 2 healers and 3 DPS, or 1 healer and 4 DPS. They just need to be at least 1 healer per group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or you could do your own pre-made, basically. That sounds fun, actually.
Yeah, let's make that game. Delete this podcast and we can make that game.
We came
I'll
up with
dust off my Unity skills.
Steal us.
Yeah,
exactly.
And the way you make tanks work is instead of managing taunt, they just are able to absorb damage that was meant for their teammates.
Yeah.
So they have like a huge health pool, and it just gets all the damage that would have gone to the healer or something. That's it. I'm going to make this game. And I'm going to be the next player unknown.
Yes.
They call me player known.
Player known.
Player unknown.
Stop! Anyway, TJ, you've been playing some games, though, right?
Yes, I've been kind of all over the spectrum for games.
Okay.
So, my family's out of town, which is why I've really needed the podcast, and we've all been busy.
Yep, sorry.
Except me. Yeah.
I saw you playing a game.
Yeah. What did I play?
You were logged into the World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah. I was playing some World of Warcraft. I was playing some Legion content, because I still had my boost to 100 for buying Legion. So I still
have mine as well.
Yep. I rolled that gnome. Was it gnome? No, I rolled that dwarf, and then we got a dwarf priest that's been messing around on Alliance side.
You're on Proudmoore, right?
I'm on Proud. I intentionally joined your server to make
yes.
sure. So if I do get Battle for Azeroth, I can just keep working that character up.
Can I give you a little bit of knowledge of Proudmoore?
Yeah.
Did you know that the server Proudmoore is the world first Onyxia kill was on Proudmoore back in the day?
Oh, nice.
So this is an ancient server.
Onyxia's final boss of don't tell me. I know this.
I know it too.
Yep.
You've already gotten it right.
The problem is I got all the Molten Core. It's Molten Core 40-man, right?
No. Onyxia is the final boss of Onyxia's Lair, the one boss raid.
It's a one boss raid?
Yes.
Was that a 40-man?
Yes. It was actually the first raid. It was before Molten Core.
Oh, okay.
But it's harder than Molten Core. I think it was before Molten Core just because because Molten Core, they couldn't get finished before release, basically.
Okay.
So it was supposed to be in the game originally, but they, I guess, fucked up and took too long. So
when did that come out? Like 1.3?
Yeah, pretty soon after, but not right at. Oh fuck. Anyway, yeah. So and actually, I heard that it was programmed in like a weekend. Like, yeah, Jeff Kaplan and like all the like classic like Metzen, all the WoW people like spent a weekend and got it fucking crunched out basically because they just need to finish it because they wanted their like epic raid instance dungeon available. So now I'm looking forward to possibly raiding maybe, but I don't think I'll be able to. I think it's difficult to completely wrap your mind around how difficult raiding was in Classic and how insane it was to level. So typical time for leveling a character to 60 who is focusing on leveling and not like other stuff like professions and battlegrounds and other things that don't give you experience. That was like 10 to 11 days played. So that's what, 240 to 300. Yeah, 240 to 300 hours,
like
depending
playing
on how
casually.
fast you were.
I got from 1 to 20 in about a week, and then 20 to 30 in about a week. And I'm assuming it's just going to keep like doubling the time it takes.
Yeah, so it'll be 30
Yeah.
to 35 in a week, and then 35 to 40 in a week, and then
and then I'll just never get to 60 because of the way the curve goes.
it does take a long time. But it also made becoming 60 a super huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
And the best part too is when you got 60, you're like, all right, I can get my epic mount, and then you go and buy the epic mount riding, which costs like 9 gold, and then you realize that the mount itself is, I think, 900 gold.
Yes.
Was it? Yeah. So, or maybe it was 90 gold with a 10% faction discount, which you should have at that by the time you're 60. So I think you just need revered or honored for the faction discount.
Well, whatever it was, I definitely bought like gold from a Chinese gold farming website to get my mount.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that was like the only thing I bought gold for because I was just like, this is unreachable for me.
It was, and I remember being 60 for an extremely long time before getting my epic mount. And the epic mounts cost nothing now in the game. They're like 90 golds now for the epic mount. So
They hand them out like candy.
But I mean, it was an accomplishment. Again, that was the thing, is that they had less content, so they had to make all of the content that they had more difficult to get, which made it much more, I think, interesting in a way. But it, like, to me, the game's kind of forked basically after Lich King, basically, because Lich King is still pretty much about the same amount of difficulty, I think, as original. And then after that, they kind of split because they added, LFR group finder stuff in that, so it was much easier to get into raids and like experience endgame content without the difficulty of gearing up for it, basically.
And for like people like me who weren't as good at getting around the world to be able to experience all the world dungeons.
Yes, exactly. Yes, so it teleports you right into dungeons now, which is fine because the game is just different. It's much more of a log in each day, got your to-do list, finish those things, log out.
The other day I had a quest that I was in like Undercity and I had to get to Booty Bay without having been there before. So I was like, okay.
You went through Stranglethorn, Vietnam.
Well, I did the same thing I did during Vanilla WoW, is I swam off the coast all the way from. So I was like, okay, I have to take this Zeppelin to this place and blah, blah, blah. So it's just like traveling to new places, and Vanilla WoW was just this whole epic journey of trying to figure out
Yes.
which sort of public transit things to take and stuff.
Oh, yeah. But yeah,
there's
I love
so
watching,
much walking.
Yeah. Well, I love watching classic videos. I've been getting way into it, and I'll share a Reddit thread on the Discord, which is on the screen right now, YOLO420.com/born in the 80s. But just watching all these old videos, and there was like a Stranglethorn Vietnam video somebody made where it's just like set to like music and stuff from Platoon, and just like, because that is probably the hottest gank zone, because that is a completely 100% shared questing zone,
and it sends you in like around level 30.
Yeah,
and the mobs I think are like 35 plus.
Yes. Well, depending on where you are in it, like,
I just remember getting fucked up by those tigers.
Oh yeah, and being on the road, no, that doesn't save you. But the worst part is, especially if you're Alliance, and I think this is probably why people think of it worse, because when I played originally as Horde, I didn't have all of the horror memories of Stranglethorn Vale. But the problem is that if you start from Darkshore, which is north, and you have to get to Booty Bay, you have to run past the Horde, like, level 40 encampment, basically, where people are about level 40 are coming into there. So you have Horde that are extremely higher level than someone who's like 10 levels above you, basically.
So what you should do if you're Alliance is to go over on the other continent and get to Ratchet, and then you can take that big old boat over, which is another thing that I did not remember existed until after I'd already swam that whole way.
Correct. And that is somewhat safer, but you still have to run through Durotar, and on a PvP server, Alliance will always be flagged in Durotar, but you can't attack the low, but they can attack you. But then once you get to Ratchet, there are the goblins who are neutral that will protect you if you get attacked, so it's kind of like just got to make it to Ratchet, basically, and then you can take the boat across. That would be the easier way if... you still have to run from Ashenvale Forest, where the Night Elves are, through the Barrens to Ratchet. It's not easy. Oh no, you can take the boat from the wetlands to the Swamp of Sorrows, Theramore, and then run your way up through. I don't know. It's difficult, basically. That's a difficult one, getting to Booty Bay, but also one of my favorite classic cities.
But then once you get there, you can buy a parrot.
Hell yeah, dude! And then they had
I loved my little
Buccaneers.
parrot, Vanilla WoW. The little like green
line.
Senegal parrot.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And so when we play, we'll create a Born in the 80s like maybe not a guild, because we may end up wanting to join a guild that
we'll want to join a guild that has people that actually do the guild work stuff, because we don't want to
and have like enough people for us to get into like big groups.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like a guild that's actively recruiting and managing events and stuff.
Yes, exactly. So we'll join that, and we can let people know on the old.
Just a heads up, I am
Discord.
definitely switching to Shadow Priest when I start playing Classic.
So yeah, what are everyone's thoughts on class? TJ, we already know you're going to be so do we want to do Horde or Alliance?
Definitely Horde.
I'd like to do Horde, but I really, it's going to be a fresh game if I go Alliance.
I know.
Especially if I do something, boring like Human Priest.
Yeah. So
was Troll Priest in Classic?
Yes. Almost every race but Tauren can be priests on Horde.
Orc.
No, Orc and Horde. You're right. Orc and Tauren can't be Horde. Can't be priests. So
Tauren got priests later, though,
troll.
didn't they?
No, it's two. There isn't only one class that can be priests on the Horde. So it's trolls and undead. But anyway.
That's the thing. It's like if we did Alliance, I'd have to be like a human or maybe a gnome priest.
Yeah.
They're dwarf priests.
Yeah, dwarf priests are actually the best as well, because they're...
I forgot about dwarves. I wouldn't mind being a dwarf. I love that fucking city.
Well, what I'm going to say is that I have friends from Classic WoW, and I'll join whatever server that they're... Like, from Vanilla, that I still play with, and I'll just say, let's join whatever guild server they're going to do, and if they want to do Alliance, let's do Alliance. I prefer Horde, and I think the idea is that we're going to do Horde. But the problem... Okay, there's lots of problems with this. Is one, Alliance is just 10 times better than Horde in terms of content and areas, because the Horde only have one capital city that's worthwhile, Orgrimmar.
Undercity sucks.
Undercity's too difficult to get around.
Yeah,
as is Thunderbluff.
Annoying. Yeah.
So whereas Ironforge and Stormwind are both really easy to get around, and the Deep Run Tran connects them. The problem with Alliance is it's extremely difficult to do anything in Kalimdor, because their only capital city in Kalimdor is the fucking World Tree or Teldrassil, which is 1 billion miles away from everything, It's at the very north. But all of the raids, except for AQ40, will be in the Eastern Kingdoms anyway. And Onyxia, but Onyxia you can get to from Theramore, from the boat, the wetlands. So, I don't know. But the content in Alliance is better. I think the chains are better in Alliance. It just sucks because it's clear the bias that they had developing the game was for the Alliance. But the Horde I want to be because it's fucking awesome to be the bad guys, basically.
Yep.
I love being the undead. I love the lore background of the undead. Of these are the survivors of the Great Plague.
Yeah. Basically, you are an Alliance human that was murdered, and you became
the scourge to some people.
Undead. Yeah. So really, some really cool stuff is happening currently in BFA with the storyline right now. I don't know if anyone knows where the story is at.
Nope.
In WoW, but
just Legion for the most part, because I saw I had to go through that first battle on the Broken Isles in Legion, and I saw
that part is awesome.
And I'm doing it from the Alliance side, and I see Sylvanas be like, "Yeah, fuck y'all," because they were working together.
Yes, so that is foreshadowing for BFA. Which is it's actually really interesting because Legion is probably the most epic raid ending out of any of WoW, because you fly to another planet to defeat the source of the evil Legion, basically the Burning Legion, because they come from another planet.
They keep portaling in.
Yes, so you go to their home world basically and defeat their god. It's pretty epic, and actually it ends with the god stabbing Azeroth with a sword that sticks out into space, which is in Silithus. And so if you're in BFA, you go to Silithus, it's just a giant sword sticking out of the earth. It's actually pretty awesome. So they've done some really cool stuff in BFA with the world building right now. But I don't know how much more epic you can get to a giant sword being stabbed through the entire planet at this point. But so Sylvanas Windrunner basically has gone crazy, and she burned the entirety of the world tree in Teldrassil. So the Night Elf Darnassus home city is gone.
Well, problem is Sylvanas is the current war chief.
And she is now the war chief, yes, because Garrosh was during Pandaria, and then he became evil, and the Horde and Alliance had to team up together to defeat him. And then Draenor was the Legion's coming back. We need to go back into the past and defeat them on Draenor in the past. So I don't know if you know this, Matt, but Warlords of Draenor, the expansion, is the exact same land as Burning Crusade, but in the past. Which is actually kind of cool, but also not as cool because it feels a little recycled. But anyway, Draenor was okay. Legion is even better, because Legion, you go to a new area and you're basically fighting the forces of pure evil.
Wasn't there one that just basically tore up the entire landscape?
That's Cataclysm.
Yeah.
Which
That's
was
where I jumped back in.
Prior to Pandaria, Cataclysm was the Deathwing, who is the mother, the mother,
Deathwing, Destroyer of Worlds.
Father of Nefarian and Onyxia,
when you play him,
basically.
he kills all the minions and removes all the cards in your hand.
So you know him from that. No, but he basically destroyed all of Azeroth. He went around and blew it up. And so actually it was a really cool event at the end of Lich King, because he was actually a mob flying around in Eastern Kingdoms, and he would kill you if you got close. It was actually pretty cool. But BFA's story right now is Sylvanas Windrunner has basically taken the war chief mantle and said, fuck all y'all, fuck this peace, let's kill a bunch of Alliance, and is trying to restart the plague, basically, that killed all of the humans in Lord Aeron. So it's she wants to murder everyone and make them all undead. So that's not
See,
good.
you say murder, I say make better.
So
hashtag Sylvanas did nothing wrong.
So I will say that if you want like Horde, get the short shrift in the new BFA expansion. Horde actually have the better storyline because you get to choose if you're going to side with Sylvanas or you're going to try and side with the other part of the Horde, because the Horde is basically splitting apart right now. Because in the most recent expansion came out with new cutscenes showing Thrall is back after going on his whatever fucking spirit journey, which means he's never around.
Yep.
Even though he should be, because he's the best. And now they're basically like Thrall, Cairn Bloodhoof, who's not Bane Bloodhoof. Cairn died, I think, in Cataclysm, but Bane Bloodhoof, his son, who's the leader of the Tauren, and Vol'jin, the leader of the Trolls, are all like, yeah, let's not join Sylvanas because she's insane and is like, will also kill all of us as well and make us undead. So yeah.
We got to be on track for Sylvanas being the next big bad in one of these next expansions.
Yes. Yeah, well, or she might be the final raid boss of this expansion, is the thought.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
It'll be a Siege of Undercity, basically, probably like Siege of Orgrimmar, which was the end of Pandaria. So I think that'll be really cool. And it sounds like they may actually remove factions, is the thought, in the next expansion. And so there will no longer be factions.
The past 3 expansions have been, hey, let's work together. Oh,
yep.
Someone fucked it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, let's work together.
And so
someone fucked it
that
up.
has been the main complaint of the writing in current World of Warcraft. Because like the idea, if you've ever played any Warcraft lore, just to explain it to people, this is extremely in-depth and no one cares about this. But we'll get to some fun shit later. I want to get this off my chest. The problem has been like, yes, that was Pandaria was that, Cataclysm was that, Lich King was that.
Yep.
Burning Crusade was that. Literally every expansion is, let's put aside our differences and work together to defeat this threat that is taking over the world. And then the next expansion is, oh, some shit happens and now we've double-crossed each other and everyone's fighting again. It's like resetting to point one. Like Pandaria was, hey, we found this new continent, and the Horde and Alliance are both like, we gotta like take it over first so the Alliance or Horde doesn't get it and turn the race of the Pandarians against us. And then the Pandarians, of course, if you know now, you choose the faction that you're part of, Horde or Alliance. And so I think what's going to happen, and this is just me galaxy braining the next World of Warcraft expansion, will be good versus evil. So there will no longer be Horde Alliance, there'll be light and dark. And you can choose which side you want to be on, which is awesome. So you could be a bad guy.
All right, hang on. You ready?
Yeah.
Double Agent becomes an NPC and is the final boss where the light and dark have to work together to beat it.
TJ is referencing an player character. Have you heard of Double Agent, Matt?
Nope.
Oh, this is going to be good. Okay.
Oh, it's great.
So the Pandarians, they are a race where you get to pick the side that you're on. Double Agent is a guy who created a panda character, a Pandaren, and he has leveled himself up to max level every expansion without picking a side.
Huh.
This is difficult because you have to pick a side to leave the starting zone. And so he has stayed in the starting zone and leveled up via fishing and mining and herbalism only.
That's
because
insane.
that gives you experience now. Yes.
And pet battles.
And pet battling, yes. So all of the non-combat stuff, basically. So he is... Yeah, so he will be the final boss, Double Agent. It's like... Oh, man. I really do love what they're doing in BFA as far as story, because it's insane. Legion's story was incredible. I think BFA is weaker because it's like, hey, remember how Horde and Alliance hate each other? Let's fight each other. It's like, okay, we've been doing this, though, so... I don't know. The Sylvanas stuff also felt a little bit out of left field. Like, she never seemed that evil, I guess.
Well, Sylvanas has always been a little off. At least a little off.
So actually, the storyline is now pointing to the fact that it seems that probably Sylvanas has been corrupted by some sort of old god.
Okay.
Which
makes sense.
Which is, yeah, but again, it's like stealing away the agency of her character. It's like, oh, she did all this evil shit, but she didn't choose to. She's not. Make her evil, man.
If you go back to back to Cataclysm, even at that time, Sylvanas was trying to convert enough dead human bodies into undead because, she tried to make it was about the fact that this race can't procreate.
Yeah.
So there's no way to...
That's true. You can't have an undead baby.
Exactly. There's no way to...
There's no
ensure
children.
the survival of the species. But she was going about it in ways that were making the humans of Silverpine Forest side with the Worgen to preemptively turn themselves into werewolves instead of being undead when they die. So, I don't know. I mean, the Worgens have an agenda there too, but it's...
I just want to get into a little bit of lore here right now that bothers me about World of Warcraft. But to show you, again, why World of Warcraft's lore favors the Alliance is that there are no Tauren children in the game at all. The undead don't have children player models. The trolls don't have children player models. Only the orcs have children player models. Whereas I think it's only humans on the Alliance side, actually, now I'm thinking about it, only have children player models. Isn't that weird? That's fucking weird to me.
I'd imagine that gnome children look just like gnomes. I don't think they grow up. I think they just exist.
They're like spider mites. You need a magnifying glass to see them.
There's blood elf children, apparently.
Okay.
So there's probably night elf children. But yeah, there's no horde, there's no orc children, or no Tauren children. I want to see a little baby cow.
It's in one of those little, like, things that looks like a big cat crate that you see on the side of the road. You know.
Yeah.
Dairy farms. Everybody that's listening to this is from Wisconsin, right?
Yeah,
awesome.
Sure.
Well, yeah, it's just...
Oh, you're talking about the little calf?
Yeah, like there's the little thing that look like a pet carrier that the calves live in.
So there definitely are baby Tauren in the game. And by baby Tauren, I mean there is one baby Tauren in the Legion expansion in the High Mountain Zone that you save, a baby Tauren. Who's in a little like swaddling clothes, basically. He gets he's going down a river and you have to catch him, basically. So there's one.
There's a baby Tauren Moses.
Anyway, but I just wish that there were more like equality here.
Well, what happens is they take away the baby Tauren so that the mother continues to produce milk.
So, sorry.
And that's where the ice-cold milk comes from.
It's true.
Oh, my God.
How is it
if
cold?
If you're Tauren and you drink ice-cold milk, you're... Oh, that's fucked up.
A little bit.
That's like us drinking monkey milk.
Stop. There's cows in the game.
Yeah, but that's like
you never
chimpanzees are to us. Maybe I should try some monkey milk. I bet it tastes like bananas.
I'm sure somewhere there is a product called monkey milk that is banana flavored milk.
Yeah, it's like banana and peanut butter flavored milk.
Actually sounds pretty good now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Did you use banana flavored milk to make a strawberry smoothie? That'd be pretty good.
I've heard of banana flavored milk before. I don't know if it was a Banana Quick that used to exist or something.
Ooh, Banana Quick. The best of milks. No, let's go back to what we were talking about. What class are we going to play?
Nesquik banana flavor.
So you said
$5.84 on
Matt.
Amazon. Free shipping.
Matt's Shadow Priest?
I have to Holy Priest. It's my home.
That's fine, TJ. That's fine. So that leaves me. What do I play?
Come on, DPS, man. You have so many options.
I could be tank.
You could.
It depends on if you want to gear it towards PvP or PvE.
Yeah, that's true. I feel honestly, we don't need to worry about if we're going to try and run stuff together, having one of us be a tank.
True.
You could just be a druid and be sort of okay at all of them.
Well, okay, druids can tank pretty much any dungeon fine. Mm-hmm. So that's not an issue. Maybe not UBRS. Upper Blackrock Spire. which is a much more difficult dungeon.
The nice thing about being a druid tank was if you could, like, pop out of your bear form and bust off a quick heal over time and get back in bear form.
Yep.
It would continue to heal you while you were tanking.
Yeah, definitely. Like, bear tanks are pretty good. They didn't have... Again, I don't think they had do they have a threat generating ability? I don't think they did in Classic WoW.
There was some kind of roar that the bear
has.
But it's like
but it doesn't generate threat. It just targets an enemy to attack you for 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Only warriors have threat generation, like specific threat generation. You generate threat by doing damage as well. Mm-hmm. So we had druid tanks sometimes. And so if you have a druid tank, you basically just have to tell everyone, okay, the druid tank is just going to fight this boss in this dungeon and give him 10 seconds
Don't engage
of
or heal for a little bit.
Exactly.
I do that with my pets. I always try to gauge it by, like, where the health bar lines up with, like, a certain letter of the name.
Nice. And then it's like, okay, now you can DPS. But, yeah, which makes them really impossible in raids. But I don't think we need to worry about raiding at first. I think let's just worry about leveling. I really, really, really want to be an undead rogue, and I want to be a fucking nightmare for the other side. I want to go to Red Ridge and gank, like, level 15 Alliance players. I want to be that guy.
What is the undead? Do they have any, like, racial traits that are good for a rogue?
Yes.
Not really.
Well, not for rogue specifically, but good for me who can't do anything.
So they do have Will of the Forsaken, which is really good, which makes them immune to fear effects for, like, and other stunning for a certain
and cannibalism is good for a rogue.
Cannibalism is actually really good for rogue because, you're going to kill somebody, you can eat their corpse, and then you get some health back. So you don't have to worry about solely eating to get health back.
You can hide underwater for longer.
That's true. You're right, yeah.
Heck, later the racial got so good you don't have to breathe underwater instead of being 3 times.
So the problem with the Horde as well is that the racial abilities are really a huge disparity. Like,
what are the other... I only know undead and, like, that dwarves get frost resist.
Okay, so orcs are extremely overpowered in the fact that they have a bloodlust ability, which gives them increased DPS for cost of reduced healing, which in PvP is all right if you're doing solo PvP because you're not healing yourself very often, unless you're bandaging, which is definitely a strategy that rogues use because you can stun lock and bandage. But orcs get the 25% stun resist, which is insane, basically, because that's topped on top of the already 10% base stun resist. So, like, that means, like, almost 1 out of every 3 times they're not getting stunned when you try and do a stunning ability, which makes them in PvP pretty difficult to manage. So orcs are pretty overpowered for PvP, I think, in terms of... and then trolls get ability to have a skill up in bows, but the weapon skill abilities for range don't matter, basically, so it doesn't really make a difference. Because once you hit max, the to-hit cap for ranged weapons can be hit with just hit gear. So bonus hit gear can get you to the, like, point that the 10 skill doesn't matter, basically. But trolls also have blood rage or something.
Like berserk.
Berserking, yes, which gives them a 10% damage boost and then a 20% if they're below, like, 80% health.
Doesn't it increase 50%. Attack speed too?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, actually. Increase casting speed as well. So, but it's affected by your health. So if you're at low health, it's better. But if you also never want to be at low health. So if you're a casting ability, like, play, so it's kind of like it's a trade-off. Whereas the Alliance have pretty clear-cut bonuses with dwarf priests getting a sphere ward. Stone skin's really useful. Humans get just that boost to reputation, which is super nice. I don't know. It's the racial things, I think, favor the Alliance a little bit as well, but I don't know. I say it doesn't matter, honestly, and then that's like my complete straight up like advice is looking at racial abilities doesn't matter at all. Like there's such minor boosts, except for maybe the horde for PvP for orcs. Getting that stun resist bonus is insane. But so which means if you're an orc warrior, like or orc rogue, or you know what I mean, like an orc warlock, rogues trying to stun lock you, you know, 1 out of every 3 stuns isn't going to work basically. So it makes you really hard to get stun locked. So I want to be either an undead or an orc rogue, and I want to terrorize the low level alliance. That's really what I want to do. But I don't have to max a character for that. That can just be a side character. Because you only need to be like 10 levels above everybody in the zone that you're terrorizing. So that's I want to do. We need to do PvP server.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It has to be. I wish I would have done it when I was originally playing. It's just more fun. Like, things do take longer to level, and you do get ganked, and that's annoying, but it just makes the game completely different. You're so much more on your toes all the time, and it forces you to group more often, I think.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're trying to find a place to grind, you have to, like, keep aware of, like, how visible you are.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's fun.
It adds a lot of, like, a heightened sense of like anxiety. And
well, what I think is it adds a little bit more drama to the race to level 60. So like,
yeah,
because like basically when you're on PvE servers, it's just like I need to get to 60 as fast as I can to play the end game content. Whereas PvP is like I have some fun fucking around while I'm leveling. You know, whereas there's you know when you're on PvE there's no danger. So let's do PvP. So we're going to do PvP.
The only downside is like getting ganked repeatedly when you're trying to do a quest, but then hopefully you have like some guildmates or something you can call in.
So I think I want to do a Tauren or Orc warrior or an undead warrior. I think I'm going to do warrior. Okay. I never have leveled a warrior, and I feel like I'm the type of person who would like tanking. And I feel like if we have a holy priest and a tank, we can basically do any instance anytime we ever want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the biggest bonus is that like, so we would just like, if you were with us, it would be like, we just need 2 DPS. And if you have good healing and good tanking, basically it doesn't matter who you get. You know,
yeah.
You can get through it.
And
as long as you don't have DPS who's actively
I can always drop out
up.
of shadow form to do some emergency healing. And,
yeah, that's
like,
the nice thing about shadow.
To have that switch kind of gives us options.
Well, that too, but also like Shadow Priests have Vampiric Embrace, so as long as you're doing damage, you're also healing the entire party.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yep.
Yes.
So it's actually really nice to have a Shadow Priest in a party as DPS because you're doing DPS and you're doing party healing passively, which is nice.
And that I would assume helps to prevent the main healer from getting aggro a little bit if it's confusing that like aggro table or whatever.
Yeah, we have a lot of talking. We have a lot of time until it comes out. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So like we can talk about this a lot, but the game is not coming out forever, which is insane.
When does it come out?
Think about August 27th.
Okay.
We have basically almost 2 full months.
Yep.
I took time off, by the way. That week. I'm taking off that week.
I might have to do that. I get my vacation days refreshed at the beginning of August, so maybe I'll take a week or something.
I just want
nice.
I'm like, I got time off saved up, and I didn't take any time off this year, really, so I'm taking that week off. I want to try and get ahead of the big curve, basically.
Mm.
And so that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to playing that with you guys. We'll share information when we get started up on that.
Yeah.
But
so I wanna jump in with something a little bit lighter, quite a bit lighter.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
That was very
now,
dense.
I have been spamming the fuck out of our Discord with a bunch of really uncomfortable memes in our Nothing But Memes section.
Okay.
I see them.
That I'm pulling from this week's Born in the 80s subreddit of the week. So there is a r/TIHI, which stands for Thanks, I Hate It.
Oh, yes.
It is a bunch of, oh, I got a giggle, but I'm so uncomfortable. Which...
Can you explain some of these images you've shared on our Discord and just describe them?
Okay, so let me start with... so there's a screen... the first one I put in there was a screenshot from the Disney animated movie Tarzan. And it's near the end of the movie where Tarzan is holding Jane with 2 arms, and both Tarzan, Jane, and Jane's father are all swinging on vines. But in the image, we see 2 of Tarzan's arms and 2 of Jane's arms. So someone has drawn how they think Tarzan's holding onto the vine, which is that he's clenching the fuck out of it with his ass cheeks.
Yeah.
Next picture down was a picture of a McChicken sandwich that someone had ordered a little extra mayo. But it looks like
it looks like a mayonnaise sandwich is what it looks like. It is like an inch layer of mayonnaise.
Yes,
like on top of a McChicken.
All over the paper as well. And the caption is, "I said a little extra mayo, not a damn McCum sandwich." Fuck McDonald's.
And I will say, having worked in McDonald's, when you get order requests like that, it is very clear protocol to do a pump of the mayo is the normal, and then you do an extra half pump when they ask for that. And if they want lots of extra, you do 2 pumps. So that person was like, "Fuck this person! I'm going to just turn on the mayonnaise hose," which exists. Those are actually how it's done, by the way, in McDonald's. There's like hanging down like hoses that you use to squirt the things on.
So is there just a big reservoir in the basement?
No, it's in a big mayonnaise container that just sits on the thing that screws on top with it just uses I think gravity pressure because it's up, and then just I don't know. It was a while since it's been oh god. I don't want to think about how long ago I was working at McDonald's. It has been almost 2 decades since I've worked in McDonald's.
I know Taco Bell goes a different direction because they have a modified Caulk machine.
Oh, nice. I know that's what they do for they did that for
Caulk machine. There's the episode title.
That's what they do for the churros. I think you just spray a line of dough straight into the deep fryer.
That's what I call it when I nut.
Yep.
Spraying a line of dough. No,
shooting ropes.
Into the deep fryer.
I think one of the best ones I threw in here was a picture of He-Man.
Yeah.
With the caption, "It was never a loincloth," because he's actually shaving it. It's just pubic
this
hair. Picture is hair and skin. Yeah.
It goes all the way around.
Pubic hair.
I really like the next one, the reverse Medusa.
Reverse Medusa, with just a bunch of torsos above the head of a snake, basically, instead of snakes on the head of a person. Ooh, gross. Fox bread? That's weird.
Yep.
The Donald Duck without his bill, and it's just a little face. That's terrible.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah, I've seen a few stuff from the subreddit when it gets cross-posted, but I need to check it out more.
I actually like that bottom one. It's
I usually see it
Sorry, go ahead.
Subreddit as a hashtag, where someone will respond to a comment, and it'll just say r/TIHI. Thanks.
Yeah. Yep. Someone did that to one of my posts that I ran. Oh shit! It was on the Classic WoW subreddit. So let me just log into Reddit and see what someone said. Thanks. I hate that too because /r/ it's called Classic WoW not WoW Classic. Oops, I spelled it wrong. I had an extra O on it. Classic wow. That's nothing.
Classic uwu.
Classic uwu.
Classic
please.
woo.
All right, let me look at my responses. Thanks, I hate it. I forget. Oh, it was someone asked a question in the Classic WoW. Are there more gankers on the Horde side or the Alliance side? And I wrote Riders on the Storm, but gankers on the Horde. Someone make that parody music video, please. Exactly. That's what I want to be. That's what I want to do, though. That's the thing. I do like the one you posted there.
I'm going to just transition my YouTube channel to Classic WoW parody songs.
one of your legs has walked further than the other, like, who is elbow dropping someone's mental health. And that is fucking my brain up right now. But one of your legs has always walked further than the other.
That reminds me of
every step you take, one leg has gone further than the other.
The one that reminds me of that fucks me up is one day your parents set you down and never picked you back up again.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
There was the last time you were picked up by a parent. Fuck, thanks, I hate it. Thanks, TJ, I don't hate this segment of the podcast.
But okay. I'm going to put this
great.
last one in there, but you have to click the link because it's a slight video.
A slight video? Thanks, I hate reverse toothbrush. Let's watch this video and hate it.
It's 4 seconds.
Are the teeth on the brush?
Oh, it's a brush with teeth on it, and then the teeth are brushes. Anyway, Thanks I Hate It is a great subreddit. Thank you for sharing.
But don't take our word for it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
All right, where are we at? We're at about an hour and a half. What do we want to do now? We spent so much time talking about WoW.
Well, no, I've got a thing here.
Okay.
I've got a Reddit ship.
Oh, Reddit ships. There we go.
We didn't talk about a stalking one, did we?
I need to get like a pirate theme for the Reddit ship, like some kind of boating thing.
Yes. Well, it's Reddit Shipping Company is what I made up the fake name as now, so it's like that would work. Let's sail the seas of with a Reddit ship. So have you heard IF20? I'm stalking my boyfriend's M20s, which I like that she didn't put the exact age. XF20s, and it feels like I literally can't stop.
I think you tanted it, but I don't think we did it.
Yes.
I don't think I actually. This one isn't weird enough. It's literally this person is like following around this lady. It's like, okay, let's talk about it. I've creeped myself out enough. Let's talk about it. Apologies if this is in the wrong sub. I have a lighter one that maybe we can end with because this one's a little dark. My BF and I have been dating for about 2 years. 2 years since he's been with his ex at the minimum. It's very serious when we talk about our future together frequently. However, I don't know if he's aware of the extent to which I'm obsessed with his ex-girlfriend. So this reminds me of the show Killing Eve. I don't know if anyone's watched that, but
nope.
Sandra Oh's character is obsessed with the killer in a way that ends up being slightly sexual. So I'm feeling the tension here in this, but let's move forward. I recognize my feelings are unhealthy, but I'm not sure what to do. If it's helpful, they dated for 1.5 years and broke up just before we got to know each other. So she is the immediate date afterwards, and she's been dating longer than the previous ex was dating them. They spoke semi-regularly until she threatened to commit suicide after a subsequent relationship of hers ended, maybe 6 months into our relationship. After making sure she was okay, he decided that contact with her was far too emotionally draining and obstructing his other relationships. So he told her he didn't feel comfortable continuing texting, talking on the phone. To my knowledge, they have not been in contact since. So this is like 1.5 years ago. Is the last time he talked to his ex. And yet, even though she and my boyfriend have long since drifted apart, and we're talking haven't talked in 1.5 years, I am obsessed with this woman. I cannot explain the degree to which she preoccupies my thoughts. I cannot bear to think about the things I imagine she might enjoy. My boyfriend talks about an interest of his that I imagine she shares. I feel so bitter and disgusted that my night is ruined. I, of course, regularly scroll through her social media, which she never posts on, but also have uncovered literally everything online that might exist about her. Untagged photos of her on Twitter, her parents' jobs, the value of her family's home, her siblings' contributions to a literary magazine, her current best friend's new fiance's arrest records. It goes on and on. Sometimes I think about her during sex. Not because I'm attracted to her.
Are you sure?
But because I know. But because I wonder how we compare sexually. This is definitely a sexual attraction happening. Because that is not something you're probably thinking about as a partner. When I met his parents for the first time, I couldn't get her out of my mind. And I was wondering if we had the exact same conversations. if we sat on the same side of the table, etc. I frequented locations I expect to find her, set up fake social media accounts to friend her, and today found myself researching the price of a private investigator to learn more about her, and I don't even know why. Because you're insane.
Because you're crazy pants. You're what doctors call cuckoo bananas.
It fills me with the greatest fucking rush. I feel sick in my stomach, dizzy even, to dig up all of this meaningless information about someone who's not even tangentially related to me at this point. I'm not sure how to stop it. I don't want to reduce myself of blame, but it feels out of my control, like something inside of me separate from me is compelling me to be this crazy. I've talked about her a couple times to my boyfriend, and he's always pretty vague and disengaged when it comes to discussing her, and I completely understand why. I don't understand why I'm letting this affect my life. If anyone has any insight as to why this is happening or advice to make me chill the fuck out, please let me know. Thank you for reading. TLDR, obsessed with boyfriend of 2 years ex-girlfriend to the extent that I nearly hired a private investigator to follow her around. And when she says that, I'm sure I thought about following her around. I'm unsure why I feel so compelled to do this now or just how to stop. What are we thinking about that, huh? Huh?
That's frightening. That's like the kind of thing that turns into, I love you so much, I need to murder you.
Yeah,
so... And it could be either this ex-girlfriend gets murdered or her current boyfriend gets murdered, but somebody's going to have a bad time with this lady.
So, it's a situation where I think that she needs to actually get a mental health help, because if it's an obsession that you basically are finding it affecting other parts of your life, then it is not too far off from a drug habit or an alcohol habit that is affecting other parts of your life, to the point where you're having mental problems. You know, this is something she needs to have behavioral therapy done. She probably has borderline personality disorder, but it needs to be clinically diagnosed. I mean, this is just insane. I mean, this literally is something you're reading about, and this person is murdered. Yeah. Like, that is where this is going.
Can you just imagine, like, being that ex-girlfriend and having no idea this is happening? It's like somebody out there is obsessed with you and probably going to murder you, but you just have no idea.
Well, she's either going to murder her or have sex with her.
Or both. In either
And somebody,
order.
of course, just posted an image of the show Killing Eve, which I would agree with. That has 183 likes. Because that's kind of the plot of that show, in a way. Not to spoil the first season, but it's kind of telegraphed pretty early on.
Yeah, what are people saying to this? Are they like, hey, you're crazy?
Just therapy. Just go to therapy.
Nobody's like, you're totally right.
No. But it's like, I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, literally, you need to go to therapy. Like, this is clearly out of your... If you're saying it's out of your control, it's out of your control.
I think everybody needs to go to therapy all the time.
Yeah. Well, basically. I feel like you need to go to therapy if you feel like you have aspects of your life which are affecting other aspects of your life that you think need to be managed. Like, if you're... You know, like sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm not, you know, but it doesn't affect my entire life. Like, I'm sad for a bit, but then I feel better, and it doesn't like make me not go do stuff, basically. Whereas it's clear this is starting to impede her life, her obsession. So she needs to go get it figured out. I've got a good one here. This is a light one. That was a bit serious. Let's go to that one. It's a dark one. But therapy can help. That's the point, is that if you feel like you need help, you got to go to therapy. Because guess what? There are clinical disorders that people are trained to help fix.
People that are have gone to a shit ton of school are good at that.
It's like when you have an appendix. It's hurting you, and you go to a surgeon to fix it. So when you have clinical depression, you go to a therapist, and they can use behavioral therapy.
Psychic surgery.
Or, psychic surgery. Yeah, that's very definitely not a fake thing. And or medication to help. Like, it's a treatable disease. It's what it is. That's what you have to think about it as. It's a disease. And you need to get fixed. It's mental, not physical. Plenty of mental diseases. No stigma, no stigma. That's what I'm saying. Like, people have problems, get them fixed. This one is stigma. This deserves a stigma. This is a stigma of men being gross. my boyfriend, 33M, would rather break up with me, 23F, 10 years younger, just saying, than compromise and wash his hands after he goes to pee.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
My boyfriend and I have been bickering for about a month now about his hand hygiene.
This is important. Does he freehand it? Is it a no-hand situation?
Does he dangle shot?
I just want to say right now that I did not know that was a possible thing until I was in a public bathroom and there was a guy peeing with both hands on his phone.
Oh, it's
and I was like, what is this?
It is a gamble.
I never pee enough to have time to look at something on my phone. Like,
maybe he was taking video.
You're getting like 30 seconds, and that's a long one. That's not really enough time to bring up like Reddit and read a post, I don't think. But 2, I don't think I could do that. Like with the way that my under area is situated. Like, because like I feel like the underwear would like the little gatefold. Like you got to hold that open without a hand, basically. So I feel like you have to be like somewhat hard to do this.
It's
like
gotta be
because I feel like if I'm
just peeing with so much force,
the force of the elastic. Maybe I just need to have boxers. Maybe that's the key because I feel like the elastic of my boxer briefs would just cause my pee to go all over my boxer briefs.
I'm imagining there exist some people that have enough mass of a flaccid drupal dangle.
Oh, I see what you're getting at here, TJ. What are you implying about me, TJ?
No, grower, not shower. That's legitimate thing.
I will 100% say that I am definitely not a shower.
Same.
But there are some people who are.
Yeah, I know.
And I would imagine that one of the most comfortable ways to pee vertically would be 2 hands on the wall if you're a shower. Like 2 hands on the wall.
I definitely have freehand peed before, but that has been in a situation where I am not wearing any clothing. Like, and I can just aim
and you're
at the
sitting
toilet.
down.
No, but I mean, like, I got good enough aim where you're just like, I've done that though, TJ. You've said that. I've done the what a day. Let me just rest both my hands against the wall and pee. I'm so beat. It's so good. It was so good. It was a good feeling. I had to pee so bad too.
I've got one better.
Okay.
I've got one better. So this is gonna go back to college times.
Okay.
So in my dormitory at Marshall Hall.
Yes.
There exists. I mean, there's like men's rooms on
public
second
restrooms.
and third floor.
Yep.
Public restrooms. There's women's rooms on first and second floor on their side, and there's a single one-person bathroom between the men's and women's sides.
Oh, was it like a single room bathroom with a locking door?
Yes.
Oh, the best.
It was
the secret pooping throne of every office is the single toilet bathroom.
There was not a lot of space between front of the toilet and the next wall.
Okay.
So one of the times, I started to flow and then leaned back on the wall.
Oh, nice. A nice... you didn't have to stand.
It was the best.
Oh, glorious.
The best.
I love it. I love it.
Did not make a mess either.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend it if you can ever have a situation you could do that.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you suddenly realize you're way too drunk and you just lean your forehead forward and against the wall that the urinal's hanging on. Not that I would know anything about that.
Yeah, of course. But anyway, so freehanding it, whatever. That's the thing. I did not know it was possible. This guy had both hands on his phone. And I was like, how are you peeing? Because I could hear him peeing. And I was like, I gotta have a hand down
you just
there,
casually glancing over
pants.
and then doing a double take and just staring hard at him.
I didn't want, it's one of those things where it was in a high school bathroom. Oh God, I was seeing a play.
You were 30 at the time.
I was seeing a play, so there was adults there as well as children. But the fact was that I was just So they didn't have like high school bathrooms. There's like cram in as many urinals as we can. There's no dividers or anything. So the splash zone, as I like to call it, you're in constantly. No. So this person says, my boyfriend and I have been bickering for about a month now about his hand hygiene. We've been together about half a year. I notice he doesn't use soap after using the restroom, but rinses his hands with water and dries them with a towel. Okay, lady, he's doing half the work here. I mean, let's hear the rest.
Washing your hands is basically a mechanical process anyway. The soap just helps with that.
We have had, unless you're using antimicrobial soap, which most people aren't because you shouldn't. Defends his hygiene, saying it is immaculate and he's a clean person. I tell him that it only takes a second longer to pump the soap and is beneficial to wash his hands regardless because you never know what germs have been on doorknobs, toilet handles. I asked him, this would make sense if he was not in home, if you're out and about. He would rather break up or just wash his hands and chose to break up because it is changing his personal autonomy and that a relationship is not going to work long term if the partner is making an ultimatum over something so trivial. I told him I will stop bringing it up, and then because I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, I am aware that it takes two to tango, and we're both being stubborn here. But I don't understand why he's so adamant about this. He is also a physician. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Which makes it even more ironic. I care about him and feel like it's affecting the way that I see him. I am honestly a bit disgusted. Am I overreacting? What should I do? Here's my thought about this situation. I've always thought this about peeing. If you don't get pee on your hands, what does it matter? You're touching a part of your body. Like, I will tell you that the dick area is probably one of the heaviest washed in the area of my body when I'm taking a shower.
She's just like vigorously scrubbing it.
No, but I mean, that's an area that will get
still,
bad
it's like,
if you're not washing.
It's a moistish, warm place.
Moist?
So, well, it gets sweaty down there, John.
Sweaty dick.
You guys are sweaty
that's
hogs.
like a bacterial playground.
Fair
it's
enough.
83 Fahrenheit in this house.
I do
right
want to say though, I am 100% a hand washer for every pee because I work now in an industry in which we are bored into our brains how important it is hand washing. So it is now just a complete habit for me. But I will tell you, definitely back in the day, probably when I was in college, I was like, if I'm peeing, you barely touch dick sometimes. And you're like, why am I washing my hands? I touched part of my body. Be like, I touched my nose. Should I wash my hands? My nose got gross shit in it. If I do this, do I have to wash my hands?
Yeah.
There's a point. I guess the thing is that I'm not easily grossed out, I guess.
Yeah, I've always been a little bit of a germaphobe. So, if I'm camping or something and I don't have access to wash my hands, even if I'm just peeing on a tree, I'm conscious of it for the rest of the day until I get into a McDonald's bathroom.
I am 100% if you take it a dump, you have to wash your hands.
Oh yeah,
there's no way around that one. You're touching poo, and even if you don't get any poo on your hands, you're so close to it that some of that's gotten on your hands. But the pee in the front, I just took a shower and a pee. Do I have to wash my hands? It's very clean.
In that case, no.
we're like.
But also, if I just got out of the shower and immediately went to pee, first of all, I just pee in the shower. But if I did do that, I would sit down to pee because it's a lot more comfortable. So here's what I do usually. Open the toilet lid with your foot so you don't touch it, and then just sit down to pee.
Okay, we've got additional stuff from this. We got to continue. Sorry, keep going.
Well, I suppose you wouldn't have to wash then, but I still do.
Okay. Well, to me, it's become a habit. So I just, every time now. You know what I mean? It wasn't
I'm the
before,
type of person that washes their hands so often, it starts to get dried out and scaly. Mm-hmm. So
that's probably too much.
Yeah.
But anyway, there are some points he'll say. This is in addition to this post. Constant hand washing weakens the immune system. I agree to a degree, somewhat. But again, you're not hand washing with antimicrobial soap. So, and I would say most soaps in bathrooms is not antimicrobial unless you're in a hospital, which I'm sure he's doing if he's a physician. But he's saying at home. I'm at home. I'm on my own turf here. I gotta wash my hands 100 times at work. He's probably I'm fucking clean as shit.
He's also licking the toilet seat to.
So he's saying if he doesn't
system.
touch any pee, or if he's not pooping, there's no reason to wash his hands. He's a very clean person, so his dick is clean. Great sentence, by the way. Therefore, hand washing is unnecessary. There is just as many poop germs on my toothbrush, so what's the point of washing hands? I mean, he does have a bit of a point. Uses clean toilet paper to touch the toilet handle in public restrooms. And he also says he doesn't wash his hands at my place because there's no need, since girls do not poop. I'm sure he says that was a joke. But I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, it definitely isn't as cut and dry as some of these other ones, but also, like,
yeah,
I think people are going insane.
I don't know. I was immediately on her side, but now I'm not so sure. Like, his justifications are making a little bit of sense to me.
But I will say that the thing that is not a justification is this guy is 10 years older than you, and you're 23. So, like, you clearly are the catch in this situation, although he's a doctor. So, yeah, maybe there's a little bit in that.
She's like the trophy girlfriend.
There's a power dynamic right now that I think he's flexing on. You know, he's like, I can get another 23-year-old. I'm a fucking doctor. So
what you do is you don't have to, like, do an ultimatum with him, and you don't have to chew him out for it. But what you do have to do is every time you're hanging out with his friends, mention that he doesn't wash his hands after he pees.
Yeah. It's just such a weird situation. To me,
wash your hands.
Yeah, wash your hands. Like, to me, it's not like a huge push on my personal autonomy to not wash my hands. Like, or tell the doctor, if you don't want to wash your hands, get better at fucking no-handing it. You know what I mean? Then you have a reason not to wash your hands. You touch nothing but your underwear. There's more responses here.
What are people saying?
He uses body wash, and I was able to recently convince him to use a loofah in the shower. He washes his hair once a week, and it always looks visibly greasy.
Well, you're not supposed to wash your hair too much,
correct.
But you are supposed to
only
shower
wash my hair,
and condition.
Yeah, I only wash my hair every other shower because I don't want to get it dried out, and that works great. But then again, on the second day, by the end of it, it's starting to get pretty greasy, which sucks. But I know it's worse if I were to do it every day, because then it would just get super dry.
Yeah. And then, like, it can get more oily then, because your body, like, tries to compensate for the dryness and pump up more oil.
So it's just interesting. I feel like the Reddit is universally for the washing your hands. But I feel like that there's probably a little bit more gray area than people are giving it, but people like to react.
I think maybe the non-washers just don't want to, like, come out for it. They don't want that to be, like, permanently on their post history.
I'm saying this on a podcast as, like, a what-if scenario. Like, I could see the reasoning behind this. But also, like, just fucking wash your hands, man. It's not that hard.
I think I don't see this being, like, worthy of ending a relationship, but, like, come on. Somebody's got to compromise.
But anyway, and also we have to remember, he's saying he does rinse his hands off. So, like, it's not like he's not cleaning his hands. He's just not cleaning them very well. Anyway. I like this also. Someone said, every relationships post is me, 93M, with girlfriend, 20F. Like, it's the way it always seems to be. Like, yeah, anyway. Yeah. Just wash your hands, man.
Wash your hands!
Here's my Reddit ship sound.
Hey, Reddit ship.
The ship has arrived.
So we'll have some more next week, probably. TJ will know the Reddit of the week, but I think we're out of time
We'll
today.
have probably a lot more WoW talk. Just because that's all I do with my life now.
I know, same here. I'm sad that I'm going to be in this play because I'm going to have less time to play WoW. But...
I started playing Skate again because it's now backwards compatible in the Xbox One.
Oh, nice.
Xbox did their last backwards compatible push, added like 17 or 25 games or whatever.
Nice.
And
gotta give them credit for that.
They said awesome. They are done.
Okay.
No more backwards compatible. They're working on a full forwards compatibility with Scarlet.
I was about to say, it sounds like the new console will just have this exact same capabilities as the previous one, so they'll be full backwards compat.
Xbox One forwards compatibility with like accessories and controllers.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
that's
saying
nice.
you'll be able to use the new. Yeah, I think that's really smart. I think that's a really important thing. I mean, honestly, if they were to put out a PS5 and they were going to say, well, you got to buy new controllers, and they're going to put out an Xbox, whatever's next, the next Xbox, the Scarlet, and they're like, you can still use your old Xbox controllers. I'm like, I mean, like,
yeah,
really
I feel like we've gotten to
here.
a point with controllers now where it's like, there's not much you can improve. Like,
No,
they've pretty much figured it out.
I mean, I will say that still, in my mind, the 360 controller is the perfect controller.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the weight, the grips are in the right spot. Like, I think the D-pad sucks ass. I will say.
Dusty. My
The
Xbox controller's
PS4
covered in dust.
The PS4 controller's D-pad is better than the 360 D-pad is a piece of shit.
Xbox One's D-pad's better than both.
Okay.
And
so what I'm saying is I probably should upgrade to Xbox One controllers on my PC.
I don't know. Somewhere between... I really like somewhere between the Wii U Pro controller and the Switch Pro controller, though.
I do like the
I love
Switch
them
Pro
both.
controller. It's got a good heft to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good.
So
It feels
they'll probably
substantial.
they'll have like improved controllers, right? But it'll just be
Oh
the
yeah,
same
but
button
the
layout.
idea is, yeah.
So I'm talking
sure.
more like the way the button layout is. Like, there's not going to be a dramatic change to that for like the foreseeable future. You know, like D-pad, buttons, 2 analog sticks, some shoulder buttons. You're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just want to mention I want to tant a new Reddit ship for next week because I have this open. Am I the asshole for crushing my wife's birth control pills? ?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, you'll have to
I guess
hear
we'll
the
see.
whole story. I'll tell you, it's not just that simple.
I have thoughts, but I'm going to hold them.
Yes, exactly. I want you to think about what could be the story around that. Let me read the first comment. It says, was totally ready to say he was the asshole till I read the rest. So,
Oh no.
oh boy.
Yep.
That's a real cliffhanger there.
Real cliffhanger. Real classic 90s film. Wait, was cliffhanger
That's
90s?
It's a real Twin Peaks
Yeah, I think so.
end of season cliffhanger.
What was that movie? 1993. Hell yeah.
There we go.
I remember Cliffhanger.
Was
a
that
sweet-ass
based on the
movie.
game?
Yeah, the movie is based on the game. What was even the plot of Cliffhanger? I don't even remember now.
It was probably just rescuing
Something
people from a
terrorism.
mountain.
No, but
think
there's
it's
like
terrorism.
guys with guns and shit at some point.
Yeah, there
so
is.
it's not just mountain climbing. I think I remember if correctly I said it was
Oh my
awful to
god,
film.
this cover. What the fuck? This
What?
is, it's like what's his name? The action dude?
Stallone.
But he's in
DeVito.
like a tank top and shorty
Yeah.
shorts
Hell yeah. Climbing.
in the mountains. What the fuck?
But yeah,
So
it's
it's
just
just
like a
Tomb
kid.
Raider,
A
but
kid's
vertical.
I think it's a rich kid is kidnapped. U.S. Treasury agent steals a bunch of money. Yeah. Yeah, it's like some robbers like kidnap this kid basically.
Well, according to the New York Post, it's an avalanche of thrills.
I remember being all right when I was a kid, but it was no Commando. Anyway,
It was no Cliff Mando.
let's end it. Or what are we
Yep.
doing?
Let's just end it.
You gotta hit
Let's
the
end
music.
it all.
I'm gonna have some more pizza and maybe play some games. I don't think I would have played us off, but I don't see the recorder nearby. Any of them.
Oh, there it is.
If you all want to like get walked through some low level shit and the definitely totally legit Vanilla Wild thing later, let me know because I'll probably
will-
be on that at some point today.
I will say, maybe I've been holding off because I feel like I don't want to get burnt out before I go to Classic Ball.
Well,
But-
that's kind of
Yeah.
like that's why.
But I can play a different class.
Yeah, that's why I'm planning on switching classes. I'm also sticking as much as I can to the undead areas, and then when I play Classic, I'll probably go to like Barons and shit.
Nice. That's a good idea. Yeah. I can get behind that. Also, I will say that thanks I hate Italian Capri Sun meme I enjoy.
Yes.
It is the packet from the pizza Lunchables. They just stuck a straw into it and are drinking the pasta sauce. Anyway.
That's fine. I put a thanks I hate Arnold from Hey Arnold in our Discord.
Nice.
Oh no. Realistic Arnold.
The website is bornintheeighties.net. You could see new episodes there. Also, John's username is John_Danger on the Hell website, Twitter.com.
Oh, thank you for that.
And you can find me at Matt Egg Music, mostly on YouTube and Instagram. And check out YOLO420.com/bornintheeighties for our Discord.
John, where can they find TJ?
He is on May of May 84. Don't go to @May of May. And you can find him on Twitch as @May of May. With the 84 or no 84? I don't think there's an 84.
No 84. Yeah.
You got in there before that Korean person stole your name on Twitter.
Every new website I go to has May of May available, except for Twitter. Or if I've signed up prior.
I'm pissed that I didn't take my actual name on Twitter. Because I could have. Because I signed up for Twitter in 2007. So I definitely could have had it.
Is it still available? You can change your Twitter name.
Nah. It's probably not available. I don't really care. I'd prefer not to have my real name associated with my Twitter account.
Oh, I get that.
Because it's a hell website.
Yeah.
True.
Nothing good
It is the end times.
From someone looking up your old tweets.
Nope. And they'll never, ever go away.
Yep. So that's the world we
Even
live
if you delete them, they'll never go away.
Yeah, the Wayback Machine, man.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Don't look up my old MySpace.
TJ, do you own BFA or not?
No, it's $20 off.
I was about to say it's an opportune time to purchase.
Oh, that's money, though.
I know. I'm just saying it's $30. I got it for $30 as well, just because it was $30 on Amazon for the physical version. But it was awesome because they were like, "Hey, upgrade available," and it was like $7 instead of $10. So I was like, "All right, I'll get myself that free like mount and battle pet for the deluxe edition upgrade."
Born in the 80s was already taken on Reddit, but Born in the 80s with the number 80 podcast was not. Actually, let me see if 80s with just the number without podcast.
And I can talk about kind of playing classic WoW versus BFA WoW and the differences. It is mightily different, but they're both good in different ways. That's what I would say.
Are you in the classic beta right now?
No. But there has been a classic beta running forever, and it's called, I don't even remember the name of the server.
Elysium.
It was in Australia before it got shut down. I wonder if they'll end up shutting them down.
I don't think so. I think that's why they're pushing to do a Burning Crusade server, because they're like, everybody's gonna go to classic WoW.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, Burning Crusade's really good too in content. The only problem with Burning Crusade is that the raid content is way worse because it's way more hardcore. And you have less people, so you can't fuck up, basically. It's just, they made it harder. Are we on, just let me know when we're on Twitch. Okay, I'm gonna listen. With Matt's like 1 second delay.
I'm sorry, my shit's just too fast.
I don't have my Prime subscription. Alright, let me listen. Alright, this is John talking, and then Matt.
Hi, my name is Matt. How are you?
Yeah, that's me. I'm sorry. I should have done it right away.
That's okay, TJ. I think we actually all sound really good.
Yeah, we do.
Good.
And the audio sounds good too.
Haha.
Oh man, I really miss doing this.
Yeah.
That was too long of a break.
Why do you have like a job where you have
So
responsibility?
I've been drinking.
That's why we've brought you to drink.
Basically.
I need to get this episode uploaded today so that I can get, because I got 200 megabytes free of the storage quota for this month, and actually I have till tomorrow to upload it.
Can I switch accounts? How do I switch accounts?
Uh-oh,
I made hot coffee and then just iced it, so it is completely watery.
It is such a difficult thing to do. I think the key to that is that the only way to make good iced coffee is to let it sit or cold brew it.
Yeah.
Or make espresso and then put ice in it.
When I was at Starbucks, we brewed it at like double strength before we iced it.
Yeah. And then it waters down, but it still is their correct strength.
I like to experiment with cold brewing every once in a while, but it's such a process. Because it has to sit for like 24 hours.
I was about to say, I want to buy a cold brewer because it's like kind of perfect for the summer. And all you have to do is...
I just do it in a... So what I do is I just put a bunch of coffee grounds with cold water in like this old 1970s Kool-Aid pitcher.
Yeah.
And I let that sit overnight. And then the next day I run it through... metal filter strainer thing, and that just moves straight through. And then I have to also run it through a paper filter, but that drains so slow. The process takes like 20 minutes to like fill up the filter, let it slowly drain out, and then fill it up again. So you don't really need any special equipment. You just need a pitcher and some filters.
I guess there's one at Target that's pretty well reviewed. I mean, it's $17.
What I wonder what it does.
It's just a pitcher with
like a built-in filter.
Filter, yeah, in the middle.
Okay.
And so then you just pour in the grounds in the middle, and then you fill it up with water and let it sit in the fridge overnight.
Okay, so that's kind of like, you can also use a French press thing to brew it. So it's like a bigger...
Actually, never mind. I'll just do that because I already have a French press.
Yeah. And
right,
then
so you just put the
heat.
grounds in, the water in, and then you just stir it a bunch, and then leave it overnight.
Yeah.
And then you just press it, and it's cold.
It has to steep for like 24 hours.
I don't know about 24.
Well, I guess
I've heard overnight works.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on what your ratio to grounds to water is.
What's the episode number?
359. All right, we're almost done the annual.
365.
All right, why don't you stop the Chiron? Let's get started for real. I have a fresh Diet Coke here.
I have watery coffee.
The dog went out to pee.
I've already finished my drink, but I have a Liberty Brew, but
a Liberty Brew.
Mountain Dew Liberty Brew.
Oh, I thought that was like some kind of special Budweiser.
Yeah, like, I'm really disappointed.
Remember in 2016 when Budweiser renamed themselves to America?
Yeah.
That was a good time.
I went to the grocery or the gas station yesterday, and it's a great story, I know. But they were supposed to have. I saw that they have like the new Coke. They're like trying to, they're like, hey, remember the new Coke from like 1985 or whatever it was? We brought it back, but the gas station didn't have any. And I was like, this is disappointing. I saw people talking about it. But
I hope that they have like new Coca-Cola Classic, and it's the same Coke Classic, but just with a different label.
Yeah, this is 14 to 16 hours, so a little bit more than overnight, but
wasn't new Coke like more Pepsi-like? It was a little bit less. It's sweeter and less harsh.
Yes, a little bit less acidic.
It's like taking away all of the things that I like about Coke.
Well, but then it's all the things I like about Pepsi.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that carbonation bite that Coke has.
Yeah. There's something about, though, like Pepsi, especially like wild cherry Pepsi in like July, that is just such a sense memory to me of just fucking running around out in like a park and then having a wild cherry Pepsi, you know, and like eating a hamburger off of a paper plate. That's like summer to me.
RC is my perfect balance.
Yeah.
RC is good, actually.
I love RC.
Let's check the RC Cola Twitter account.
I always had
that I subscribed
RC
to a while
Cola
ago.
when I went to like Hague family events.
It's not even like cheaper.
No, it's not. Is that under the 7-Up umbrella?
It is the Dr. Pepper Snapple group.
Okay.
Which is not that.
No, because 7-Up's its own thing.
Yeah. RC Cola hasn't tweeted. Oh, what RC Cola Twitter account am I following that's been tweeting? Oh, here it is. RC Cola International.
Okay.
So not just RC Cola. That one has not tweeted. RC Cola International is tweeting just dumb shit. It's my favorite part about RC Cola International is that this Twitter account is literally focused on to distributors. So it's like they have stuff like, hey, let your consumers have a taste of the true American South with our Royal Crown Cola. Find out how you can bring this beverage to your market today. So this is focused at like international distributors, basically, which I think is great. So like trying to sell RC Cola to like, you know, Thailand or some nonsense. And they're like, hey. Anyway, did you know that the first cherry cola was an RC Cola brand in 1907? Apparently. They don't make it anymore, though, so I don't know why they would talk that up.
That's the other thing I've been doing. I also played that of that.
Guys, would you like to know that the Royal Crown Cola has 230% revenue growth in the Czech Republic and 320% revenue growth in the Slovak region?
So they're just like reposting their company-wide emails?
Yeah, basically is what it seems like. Happy Flag Day! Thank you, RC Cola. I just love that, like, but you know what the crazy thing about this is? I want to, like, take photos of this from the Royal Crown Cola's, like, international account, is that it looks like internationally Royal Crown Cola is pushing for a really premium market. Like, so they are, like, talking about how their brand of cola is natural, sustainable, like whatever.
Yeah.
And the image they have of the bottle is like one of those, you know, like Red Stripe bottles.
Yeah.
They look like that.
Like a little hand grenade.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's like Stella Artois is. People think it's fancy here, but in Europe, it's like the trailer park beer.
It's cheap. Yeah, it's like PBR. They're like, oh, yeah, but since it's from Belgium, it's fancy.
And it's called Stella Artois.
I'm gonna save the image of this Royal Crown Cola because their international marketing campaign is like sweet. They're like trying to be like, this is old-fashioned Southern America Coca-Cola, but which is exactly what Coca-Cola is. But you know, people in foreign markets don't know the Coca-Cola story.
Yeah, those dumb foreigners don't know.
Those fucking idiots. What a bunch of dumbos. Anyway. I'm learning a lot about Royal Crown Cola. This podcast is sponsored by Royal Crown.
So I read this morning that there's no climate change and our air and water are the cleanest it's ever been.
Nice.
Because, you know, Trump said it, so it's true.
Yeah, never been cleaner. Just go get some tap water from Flint.
We have America has the cleanest climate. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
Mm-hmm. I think one of my favorite moments, I forget where it was. I feel like this was something that did happen, but there was a court case with Monsanto executives about Roundup, and they said it was safe, and they brought some of it out, and they told the executive to drink a glass of it if it was safe, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, exactly. Anyway, oh, is Keys around running right now? What's going on? I'm seeing SGDQ.
Well, he's at SGDQ. He interviewed himself, and I haven't seen that video yet.
Classic. Oh no, Super Mario World's happening right now. Sorry, I've been watching Summer Games Done Quick is happening right now, so we're not going to have any audience, especially because right now it's the Super Mario World race with...
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Oh, Mitch Power isn't racing, though, for some reason.
And
or no, he's the 3. He's the Super Mario 3 guy. Anyway, but they're doing a race. 96 exit race, whatever that is.
Well, I hope... that's the whole game, isn't it?
Okay.
That's every level.
That's full every level.
Every level, every exit.
Cool.
Do you think Classic WoW uses few enough resources that nobody would notice if I was running it?
All right, stop. Let's get started. Oh god, I wasn't ready. All right, the cat's in the room now.